Hope everybody's doing well. I'm excited today to come talk to you about my favorite topic, one of my favorite topics, which is purpose and how to identify it, how to find it, and how to walk it out. So again, my name is Adeniki McKinday. I'm a purpose coach and a career strategist, and I love helping, my 40 plus years young professionals who are really interested in moving past just pay and just a position, who are really looking to identify what is my purpose in life. What is that work that is going to be deeply meaningful to me and really allow me to make an impact? And so that is who I help, and my clients consistently tell me that the work that I do really helps them gain a revelation of how their unique skills and gifts really are a match for a specific group of people. They tell me that I have the ability to help them ease their anxieties and really build their confidence so they can go after work that is full of purpose, despite the statistics that are out there. And so I'm excited today to really kind of show you, if you are looking to find purpose in your life, there's so many ways that you can go about this. This is a hot topic. So many people are talking about this, right? People have been talking about this for decades, for centuries probably even. But there are three key ways that you can actually, really start that process. If you are in that stage right now where you're like, I'm just really sick of what I'm doing and I've really got to figure out how to move into purpose, then I'm going to show you three ways that you can really do that right now. And that is my motto. That is what I do. I help you move from sick and tired to peace and purpose. That is my gifts and my callings. So let me just jump right in and share with you one of the ways that you can very quickly assess kind of what is your purpose. So there are three ways that you can do that, and I just want to kind of cover kind of how I've done this in my life. They're going to be super simple. When I mention these three things, you're going to be like, wow, is that it? That's not super complex. It's not, but you do have to make the time and to do these things in order to really figure that out. And so the three things are really, they're reading, they're meeting new people, and writing. I mean, it's super simple. That really is the first step to really identifying what your purpose is. And so let me kind of start with the reading part. I am an avid reader. I love to read. I mean, honestly, any book I can get my hand on, I will read. I remember when I was a kid, I used to, reading was my escape. I used to, read. I mean, the bigger the book, the better. And so when I was a kid, actually, I read a bunch of romance novels. And that's because, honestly, I had an aunt who had tons of these books. That's all she read. And so I would go to her house and get these books and read them. And so I kind of got addicted. And so I read all the time. I read all these romance books. And so, when you're thinking about as a kid, why would I read those types of books? Again, that's what I had access to. But the other thing that I realized about myself is I read a lot of books and I watched a lot of soap operas. I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed to say it. It was my growing experience, but I realize now as an adult that the reason I was so drawn to those types of things was because, as a kid I felt really lonely. I didn't necessarily feel like I could feel the love of the adults in my life. In my head, intellectually, I would be able to say, well, yeah, I think they love me. But I mean, the environment was such that, it was such a big family, it was hard to get any attention that, I felt like maybe there was a lack of love maybe in my life. And so as I realized that as an adult, which again is part of the reason why I'm into coaching, because I want people to feel like somebody cares. You are valued, because as a kid, not to say, that wasn't present, but again, I didn't feel it. And so I was looking for places to kind of fill that hole. And as a kid, there are a lot of ways we look to fill that hole, right? I mean, some of us turn to relationships. We turn to substances like alcohol and other different things. We turn to acting out. Some people get, really rambunctious at school and they're always in trouble because, again, it's really just a cry for love, right? But we don't know that. And so as an adult, we can maybe look back on some of these things and kind of identify what are the holes that we were feeling. But again, if you're looking to find purpose, one of the things I always say is look at what you're reading, okay? Or look at what you were reading, in your past, because that can give you a sense of what are some of the things that, really mean something to you. Nowadays, I'm deeply, deeply, deeply into biographies, really wanted to understand history and things like that and what's going on in the world because I'm just, like I said, I want to understand how people overcame adversity. We've all been through this season, right? And it was harder on some than it on others, but I have for years been reading about how people overcame adversity, because I feel like the last 10 years of my life has been one lesson in adversity after another. And it's made me incredibly strong. But I used to wonder, why am I reading all these biographies about people who've had stress and troubles? Does that mean I'm about to go through that? And the fact of the matter is, I was going through that season. And so the biographies really helped me. It gave me a courage to understand that there's somebody in my past, or someone who has done this before, who's come this path, and I'm not alone in this. And so really look at the things that you're reading, or think about the things that you would be interested in reading. Okay, because that can really point you towards your purpose. Are you really into, business books and personal development? Maybe you want to develop yourself personally because you're interested in helping other people. Now, the one thing that I will say when it comes to purpose, everything that you're learning, you're typically taking that in so that you can give it out, okay? Nobody is an island, and so you're not just learning stuff just for yourself. I would say, I'm just going to throw it out there and just say everything that we learn, honestly, is for somebody else. Everything that we learn is for somebody else. We go through it, and then when we overcome it, then we're able to help somebody else. And so, I love that, if you're reading, be thinking about, what is it that I'm gaining out of this? How is this building me up? How can I use this information to, make myself better? And then once I've overcome this hurdle, or once I've gained this knowledge, how can I then help somebody else? So again, we're talking about purpose today. For those of you who maybe that just be joining me, my name is Nikki McKinday. I'm a purpose coach and a career strategist, and those are the topics that I love to talk about: purpose, abundant mindset, how to move forward in life, how to go to the next level, how to look for the silver lining, how to find what's positive in life. And so I'm talking about how to find that purpose. Look at what you're reading, look at what you're watching, see why you are interested in those things. Again, it's not always just about what it is. Like I said, there's some surface level things that could be going on, but really try and take some time to think through, why exactly am I drawn to this particular type of book? And sit down and think through that process. So reading is one of the things that you're going to do. Then the next thing that you're going to do to really identify, what is my purpose in my life looks like, is you're going to reflect. Okay, and this is a hard one for people. Reflecting means you have to actually stop being busy. Okay, you have to stop running around, doing a bunch of stuff. You have to find some alone time and sit down and really reflect. Okay, you have to reflect on the things that have gone on in your life. Reflect on the things that you're reading. Reflect on the things that you've gone through. Okay, so some exercises that I always have my clients focus on is, first of all, most people, when they think about purpose, they think about a career, they think about work, but honestly, that is just one vehicle. Purpose can come through a variety of vehicles. We're talking about, obviously, the career space. So obviously your career can be a vehicle through which you find your purpose, but that is not the only place. And so I will have my clients sit down and think through life experiences going all the way back to childhood. Let's sit down and think about the experiences that have impacted you. And by impact, I mean they are burned in your brain, they are burned in your heart. You remember these things when you sit down and think about, what are the things that made an impact for me. I usually say, start back as early as you can remember, and then go through each of your grades. So first grade, what do I remember about first grade? What impacted me? Second grade, third grade. That's probably the easiest way to remember. And then just write those things down. Don't at this point, don't try and filter anything out. Just sit down and write those things out. And then once you've gotten everything written down, all the way up to whatever age you are now, however many years young you are right now, then you want to sit down and go through each of those experiences and really think, what's the lesson I learned? What is the wisdom that I gained? Okay, that's reflection. Reflection is where you sit down and you go through all of those things. Honestly, that's how you're going to really start to pinpoint, well, how does my purpose fit in with this? Because purpose is that thing that you have a unique set of experiences and a unique personality and a unique group of people that you have been designed to kind of help. And when you're sitting down and reflecting, you will start to see themes. You'll start to see themes. And so I am a big fan of journaling, a huge fan of journaling, because it really helps you make your thoughts a little bit more concrete. So again, as we're talking about the 3 things that you can do to really find purpose, the first thing that I talked about was reading. Okay, you do want to be reading something, or if you're not a reader, just take inventory of the type of videos that you are attracted to most, the type of videos that you're always looking at, the things you're constantly drawn to, the type of movies that you're constantly drawn to, and really look beneath the surface to understand why you are drawn to those things. Then the second thing I said is you want to reflect. You want to reflect and then write. So reflecting is where you sit down and actually think deeply about a topic. So reflect on your books, reflect on the videos that you're watching, and think about why you are drawn to those things. Again, just get past the surface level, think about why you're drawn to those things, and then begin to write, begin to journal. I have so many journals. Literally, I just write things down all the time about things that come to me, and really just kind of try and process why I'm feeling a certain way or why I'm thinking a certain thought. And so journaling is a great way to really get those ideas down in concrete so that you can really go back and look at them and then begin looking for themes of what may be your purpose in those things. And so reading is one. Again, we just talked about that. Writing and reflection, that is another one that you definitely want to look through. I am a big fan of finding a bank of questions. You could go online, you can Google it, and just type in questions I should ask myself to determine my purpose. You would find that there are going to be so many questions there. And if you were to sit down and actually answer those questions for yourself, you will learn so much about yourself. Guys, the reason why we struggle so much is because we just won't take the time to actually look deeply within ourselves, to do the internal work. I have seen this time and time again. Most people, we tend to just kind of go through our day doing the same thing over and over again, and we never really sit down to really reflect and really think deeply about things. And then before we know it, 5 years has passed, 10 years has passed, 20 years has passed. And then we get scared. We come to, a place in life where we're like, am I doing everything I was supposed to do? Two things typically happen. These are the two things that I see come up. Either people get everything that they want in life, and then come to a space and time where they're like, I've really gotten everything that I really wanted. I got my dream job. I got a great relationship. I have this, I have that. They have all these external things. They get everything that they want. And then they realize they're still not happy. They're still not deeply fulfilled. I mean, that is a scary place to be, because what else can you do when you've gotten it all? Or the other scenario is on the flip side. They get to a certain place in life and they realize, wow, I am nowhere near where I wanted to be. Either of those scenarios should really cause you to stop and think about, okay, how can I fix this? Let me just take some time to really just stop for a second and really understand, how to get my life on track, or what it is I need to do in order to figure out what this next step is. That's a lot of the reason why people will go back and get multiple degrees, or, like I said, climb corporate ladders or join all kinds of boards and become super busy doing this, and they have a ton of titles. But again, none of it is fulfilling. If it's not fulfilling, then it's busy work. I don't care how important or successful it looks on the outside. If it's not fulfilling, if you don't feel that deep sense of satisfaction and joy from having done that work, then again, people may applaud you on the outside, but you know on the inside that it's really not what you were meant to do, and it's really not part of, your purpose. So those are some things you definitely want to do. And the third thing you want to do is you need to constantly be meeting people. I can't say that enough. I was actually reading an article just before I got on today to do this live, and this article had to do with, in order to really identify purpose, you really want to consistently be finding people that you admire and having conversations with them. So look around, and think about people that you admire. If there are not a lot of those people in your circle, then that's why you need to expand your circle. If you are only around people in your life who are just like you, who think like you guys do all the same things together, nobody really has an idea that's just a little outside of the box, then you're literally stuck. You're literally stuck because nobody is stretching anybody. Nobody's challenging anybody. You are all just kind of, it's called an echo chamber, where everybody's saying the same thing, doing the same thing. Nobody's growing, stretching, or challenging each other. And so the other way to find purpose, honestly, is to find people that you admire and reach out, follow their stuff first of all, but try and actually meet them and talk to them, you know. And it doesn't always have to be this huge person, this person that is just way out there. It doesn't have to always be, an actress or a singer or a politician or a great philanthropist. It doesn't have to be this person who is known worldwide or known nationally. You know, just look around you, at the people that at the people who, you just kind of, you look at them and you think, wow, I like that about them. I like, what appears to be a great family, or I like what appears to be them taking care of themselves, or I like what appears to be them stepping out of the box, and just reach out and have a conversation with them. I remember when I was first starting this process, I began to look around me and think about the type of life that I wanted. And I looked around and to some people that I didn't know, and just kind of, I didn't know what their life was like. There's no way you're going to know what their life was like. So you can't say exactly that person, is actually what you think they are. But even if you just think it, the way you're going to know is to have a conversation. Like I said, when I was raising my kids, I remember I used to look at moms who I really admired. Like they would, specifically at my church, there was this one lady who came, and her kids were always dressed to the nines. They looked amazing. They were so, intelligent, and so were, don't get me wrong. Mines weren't just rugrats running around, looking crazy or anything. We were together, but I just admired how they just seemed to have a great relationship. And like I said, they just looked so good all the time. They were just so intelligent. And so I set up a meeting with her because I wanted to know, as a mom, how she was able to, really just keep all of that together. And like I said, I learned a lot from that experience. Like I said, it ended up that, she wasn't someone that I ended up continuing mentorship with, but I learned a lot. And like I said, I stepped out and did it. So you have to meet other people. I mean, come out of that comfort zone and start meeting other people, because it's that conversation that you're going to have with somebody that's going to stretch you. You're going to be like, I never thought of that. And nobody in your circle has ever been exposed to that either. So there's some ideas you're never going to get exposed to if you're not meeting other people. And so in this article I was reading, the guy was basically sharing, and I'll probably try and share this article as well because it was really a great article. This guy was sharing that he tries to make it his goal to reach out and connect with one person he admires every single week, and if possible, try and even connect with them and have a conversation. And so I thought that's a great goal. That is a great goal. Like I said, you don't have to admire everything about somebody's life in order to learn something from them. I think that's where we get stuck. We figure that if somebody has mistakes in their past, or if somebody doesn't talk quite a certain way or does something that we don't really like, then we just throw the whole person away. And that's just so wrong. Okay, a person doesn't have to be, nobody, let's just get this straight, nobody is living at the highest level of perfection just yet. Jesus Christ is there and he's trying to get us all there for sure, but everybody has mistakes in their life, and it's up to you to really just be able to say, okay, that part I don't agree with, that part maybe I don't like, but wow, they've really got something going on there. That's the only way you're going to learn.